Shalom, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sensor Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Osh from the Great Millstone Miami camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this video is edifying to the elect. This is something I wanted to speak on, something I was meditating on, and that's that there is nothing special about us in the flesh. There's nothing special about us in the flesh. We just hit the spiritual lotto. There's nothing special about us in the flesh. We just hit the spiritual lotto. Okay? And when I say we, I'm speaking as a member of the hopeful elect, speaking to the hopeful elect. That's what I mean when I say we. Okay? Those of us that have been enlightened with the true light, which is this word, this truth, this gospel, the teaching of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, this 100% truth. Okay? Knowing who we are as Israelites, knowing where we came from, and knowing where we're going. Okay? There's nothing special about us carnally or in the flesh that the Lord had respect upon to give us this truth, to wake us up. It's not because we were so smart or so mighty in the flesh or so cool, okay, or possessing the riches of this world. It was none of those things. Okay, we just, spiritually, and I say this spiritually, we just got spiritually lucky. Okay, which ultimately, if we are indeed of the elect, Lord willing, we endure to the end, and it's made manifest that we are of the Lord's chosen, then we were always of the Lord's chosen to begin with, going back before the foundation of the world. Okay? But there was nothing special about us before we woke up to this truth, which made the Lord call us. The calling is just because the Lord simply chose to call us. That's why this truth is so special. That's why this truth is so precious. Because we know it's nothing that we did to be counted worthy of receiving this truth. The Lord He just called us. And you have these other Jakes in the world that can't get it. No matter how, you talk to them till you blue in the face, but the Most High just got them blinded. As a matter of fact, let me start off with this scripture right here. Been meditating on this scripture for past few days. This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for. And who is Israel? Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as the Israelites scattered abroad among all the other nations. Okay? And being an Israelite, as the scriptures tell us in Romans 10 and 2, well, I'll start at 1. Romans 10 and 1, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Okay, so as an Israelite, naturally, by nature, you're born with a zeal for God. There's something in your genetics. There's something in your makeup as an Israelite, according to the flesh, that you're born with, that, is something inside of you that you have a belief of a higher power. There's something inside of you that knows there's something greater than man, outside of this world. And being in this world, I'll say, like it says in 2 Corinthians, I believe that's 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Right, 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is said to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. And we know the God of this world is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, okay, which the elites of Esau, Edom, they are the ones that's pulling the strings, on the world stage, behind the scenes. And the way they structure this current world is to program you from a young age to not believe in a higher power outside of him. Actually, he wants you to believe that he is the highest power conceivable. He don't want you to have a belief of God. Okay, but naturally inside of us, there is a belief of the Most High. Okay, but the God of this world will, has blinded that in a lot of our people. But even in the ones of our people that still, do believe in a higher power, it's not according to knowledge. It's not according to truth. And a big part of that is because the devil has warped your mind into, if not believing in no higher power other than him, he has you believing in a false power. He has you believing in a false image of so-called Jesus Christ, which we know goes back to Caesar Borgia, or further than that, Serapis Christus. That's the God they want you to believe in, which they beat in us. Okay, going back to slavery. All right, and Esau coming with the sword, with the whole 1492 Christopher Columbus. They beat that into our people, into believing in that false image. And our people, they willfully still believe in it to this day. That's them, and they be in the churches. They be clapping, singing, dancing. Every 5 minutes, Jesus this, Jesus that. Thank God this, thank God that. But they don't know. They don't have any biblical knowledge. You ask them simple, basic questions according to the scriptures, and they can't answer. If they do give you an answer, it's way off the mark. Okay? They don't know nothing. They don't know what nation they are. They don't know that they're Israelites, first and foremost. Which, if you don't know you're Israelite, you don't know shit. You can't begin to understand the scriptures. They can't tell you who the Lord died for. They can't tell you who he's coming back to deliver. They don't know nothing. So they have a zeal according to God, but not according to knowledge. Right? So going back to Romans 11:7, I read it again. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for? What are they seeking for? The truth. They're seeking to fill that void that they're born with. Okay, that connection with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They feel that potential to be connected to the source, but they think that they're fulfilling themselves worshiping false idols. And even these jakes that say there is no God, they still worship a God, and that's the God of this world, which is the devil. They follow after the devil's science, okay, or his money, or his pharmakia, his witchcraft. So even if they deny that there's a God, inside them, they're still worshiping a false idol, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. So, again, what then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So the elect, they have found that which they seek it for, which is that connection to the source, the true source, which is Yahweh. He is, okay, through his son Yahweh Shai. So the elect, they have obtained it, which is the truth, right? And it was a gift. It's something that all Israelites are seeking for, but only the elect have obtained it. Why? It wasn't because it's something special about you and you know, carnally. It's just the Lord had mercy, man. All right. So, getting to the scripture, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, going into the lesson. 1 Corinthians 1 and 26, for ye see your calling, brethren. Like as Yahweh Shai said, for many are called, but few are chosen. Right? Many are called, and actual all Israel is called. But only the elect answered the call. And you have other jakes that's not a part of the elect, that's you know, so-called in this truth right now, know they're Israelites. They somewhat answered the call, but as Yahweh Shai said, there's going to be many that's going to say, Lord, Lord, in that day. He's going to say, I never knew you. So, not all that answered the call are chosen. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. Right? But the fact that we have this truth is, that's, you know, as it says a couple chapters down, I'll read it. 1 Corinthians 4, or is that Colossians 4? No, not Colossians 4. I thought it was 1 Corinthians 4. Yeah, Colossians 4. No. 1 Corinthians, I know it's 1 Corinthians 4. Hold up. You know what? Bear with me, Akian. Second Corinthians 4, I'm tripping. Alright, 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 1. Therefore, seeing we have received, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. Right, so the fact that we have this truth, this mercy, and knowing that we have this truth, we got to keep pushing to the end. We faint not. We can't give up. We can't turn back. We got to fight. Okay, and if we fight to the end, then we win. Okay. So 1 Corinthians, Satan acting up my phone. Oh man. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. So the calling was not based upon being wise after the flesh, meaning you got you went to Esau's different schools, okay? You went to Esau's different universities and received his degrees, okay? Or you was a valedictorian at your school. You graduated top of your class with a 7.0 GPA. You took AP courses and got college credits, and it wasn't about none of that. or because you were mighty, you might be 6'4", 6'5", 250 pounds, all muscle, 10% body fat. It's not about that either. Or you may be noble, you may descend from a well-off family. Your parents were upper class. You went to the best of schools, It's not about that at all. No, none of those things are determining factors of you receiving this truth or not. Now you have certain brothers that have these different attributes according to the flesh, but that had nothing to do with your calling. Okay, and if we're of the elect, it's not going to have anything to do with your election. We just, the Lord just spiritually saw fit. It's nothing we did. Which when you understand that, it increases which you can't add any value to this truth, but it increases the value of this truth to you. It makes you look at this truth with due value, which we can never glorify the Lord as much as he ought to be. That's why the scriptures say glorify him as much as you can, but in order for you to glorify him more, you have to increase your level of understanding. The more you understand about the Lord and his truth, the more you can glorify him according to the way you ought. And I'm speaking to myself first. A lot of people that come into this truth, they fall out because they don't have understanding. That's why the scriptures say wisdom is the principal thing, but with all getting, get understanding. A lack of understanding can lead to you falling out. You come into the Lord with pride, thinking that you were chosen because it was something you already had. You already had it, like the Lord, like you deserved to be a part of this truth because you were so smart or you were so good looking or handsome. That has nothing to do with it. All right, verse 27, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. And the key point is that no flesh should glory in his presence. So that's what it's all about. The Lord chose the weak things. He chose us, which, like I said, certain brothers may have been born, with better off families, but ain't none of us part of the elite of this world. We are all poor. Okay? No matter how, well off your family might have been, it's if you're still using FRNs, you're poor. Okay? And the mighty, you may be a brother you may know certain fighting skills or this or that, but you ain't mighty compared, in the flesh, you're not mighty compared to Esau. Esau got all type of weapons and armies. We ain't none of us got armies and legions we could call upon to fight battles for us. And none of us got no real power in this world. So at the end of the day, we're all part of the weak things of this world. And the Most High set it up that way. That's who he wanted. Okay? So when you really look at that, it's nothing to be proud about. The Most High, if you're in this truth, the Most High called you in this truth, that means you were weak in the world. You ain't have shit. You ain't have nothing, man. The Most High set it up that way so that he can get the glory. And that's, knowing that we should glorify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, I'm gonna get this scripture right here too. Back up what I'm saying is, it's like we hit the spiritual lotto. All right, this is Psalm 16 and verse 5. Yahweh is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. Okay, and this is King David speaking, saying that the Lord is his portion of his inheritance, because as an Israelite, which the word Israel in the Hebrew, Yashar Allah, means he's a prince of God. He's a prince of the power. And what does a prince inherit? A prince inherits a kingdom. So us as Israelites, that prince, the analogy of a prince, he didn't have to do anything to inherit that kingdom. Right? All he had to do was just be the king's son. And he had no control over that. You don't have no control over who your parents are. So a prince inheriting the kingdom, all he had to do was just be a decent child, right? And he inherits a whole kingdom. So King David is saying the Most High is his portion and his inheritance. And how much more of us, the house of David, as Israelites of the Most High, Lord willing, right? We are inheriting, the Lord. He's our power. It's nothing that we had to do. It's nothing that we could do. Thou maintainest my lot, right? Because if we are of the elect, indeed, this was our lot from the beginning. The Lord is just maintaining it. That's why the scriptures say the spirits of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. If you was a prophet in the ancient world, you're going to be a prophet today. So you can't force yourself to be a part of something you were never a part of. That's why if you're not of the elect, or if you're not a part of the 144,000, you can't get mad. Because that's not your lot. You see? But if it's your lot, it's your lot. That's why it's all about predestination. And this is the key point, verse 6. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yeah, I have a goodly heritage. Okay, so King David said the lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. It's like you got the winning hand. You were dealt the winning hand. It's like you playing the game of poker, right? You don't choose your hand. The cards that you, which I don't know how to play poker. I know the gist of it. I understand, enough to make an analogy. You have the dealer that, cuts the cards, and he deals a hand to each individual according to the predestination of the deck of cards, and the amount of people that's playing, and in the order in which the cards is dealt. It's the cards that each person would get, it would be predetermined already. But you don't have no say in what you get. You get what you get. Like the movie Forrest Gump. Yeah, Forrest Gump, what he said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Right? Which that movie Forrest Gump, they displayed this topic, or if you will, this idea, this concept very well. He was born slow, mentally challenged, right? Which he ain't have no control over that. But it just shows you certain things, the synchronicities, being at the right place at the right time, which the scripture tell you in Ecclesiastes, right? That time and chance happened to them all. The race is not given to the swift. As a matter of fact, let me grab that. That's a good scripture. Okay. I believe that's Ecclesiastes 1 or 2. Right. Okay, right. Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor to the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. Right? A lot of millionaires and people that, even billionaires, a lot of times, they have a saying, riches are in niches. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Being at the right place at the right time, it can be very favorable in your life. And it's not really nothing you did. It just happened. How much more with being of the elect, the most fortunate, lot you can have in this world. We can't do anything to be a part of this. Okay, that's why you got Jakes. A lot of Jakes, they burn themselves out in this truth, thinking that they can force themselves to be of the elect, which the scriptures say, give diligence to make that calling and election sure. Right? But the scriptures also say, why be over righteous? Why destroy thyself? So we do what's required of us. We go as hard as we can, but you can't force the course of the river. Eat as much honey as sufficient unto thee, least thou vomit it. So it's all about balance, right? But I read this again, Psalm 16:6. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yeah, I have a goodly heritage. So the numbers just came out like the lottery, man. You can pick your numbers, or you could get a auto generated, dealing with the state lotto, which I don't really play the lotto like that, but I understand how it works. You could pick your numbers, right? Or you could just do a quick pick, I believe is what it's called, and the computer just spit out a number randomly, and you got certain people that they win like that. The numbers just came out, and you find out that you got the winning numbers. That's how it's gonna be for the elect of the nation of Israel. They was just dealt the winning numbers, man. They was just dealt the winning hand. And nobody could say that better than King David. He's the top spirit after Yahushua. Which, of course, Yahushua, he's the number one. Which Yahushua himself, he didn't do anything to, let me say this right. Of course, he proved himself by doing what he had to do 2,000 years ago. But going back to the beginning, he is who he is. Lord willing, we of the elect, we are who we are. It's just what it is. Okay? So the lines are falling unto me in pleasant places, man. It's what they say in the churches, man. Favor ain't fair. Okay? So this is something that we gotta remember. This is something we always have to bring back to mind, to hide pride from us, to kill the ego. So, with that, I hope this was edifying. I want to say, Kol Halayim Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.